Hello, Sunday night, 8 o'clock, Diana the Happy Lawyer time. Sunday night, 8 o'clock, Diana the Happy Lawyer time. And now here's Diana. This little cute thing that I had. Drum roll. I like the drum roll better. I'm going to get a real drum. Hi everybody, Sunday night, 8 o'clock. Oh, there you go. Diana the Happy Lawyer. Oh, and there's my alarm to let me know to start the show. That I'm ready to go and start the show. Let me get my do not disturb information on so that, every time I come on, people call me. They just want to talk. So, thanks for tuning in. Last week I talked about foundations and 5 tips to building a foundation, and they were: listen, schedule time, take action, get help from sources of information wide and varied, and repeat. So those are definitely the tricks that I've been using, tips, whatever you want to call them, to follow over and over to build solid foundations for every morning, for every evening, and for long-term goals, short-term goals, whatever it is. You have to do those things. Listen to yourself, listen to the thoughts, make sure they're the thoughts that you want. Schedule time, and when you schedule time, make sure you do it. Like get up at 8:30 in the morning or 7:30 or 6:30 and do whatever it is you're supposed to do at that time. Walk, meditate, exercise. Don't just set time aside like, oh, I'm going to exercise at 7:30 in the morning, but then get up at 7:30 and don't do it. So you have to set the time aside and do it, and then take the action to do that. That what you've scheduled for that time, or any other thing that you need to do to take action and follow through on building your foundation. Get help from other people that have done the thing that you're trying to do before, from inspirational speakers like Wayne Dyer, which I mentioned last week, and then repeat those things over. And one of the interesting things about repeating is what I'm going to be talking about tonight. Repetition, things that we do over and over, become habits. And I know I am a creature of habit. And most people, we always hear that, oh, creature of habit. So the important thing is, if we are creatures of habit, you have to be careful that you choose your habits wisely. Like Tony Robbins always says that he can look at people in his audience and tell if their habits in the morning are to wake up and exercise or to wake up and stop at Dunkin' Donuts on the way to work. And just by looking at their physical fitness, he can tell what their habits are. And obviously the person who's waking up with a habitual action of exercising is choosing more wisely than the people who are waking up and heading to Dunkin' Donuts as their morning habit. So there are things that we do that we don't even realize that we're doing that are our habits. This weekend I was in Florida, and many of you know that I was living in Florida for a long time, and I was flying back and forth to New York for work. And then I stopped doing that for about a year, and I just went to Florida for the first time. And it was very strange because some of the things that I didn't even realize I was doing out of habit just came back naturally. Things that I hadn't done in a year, like walking through the airport. Like I instantly knew where to go, what to do, because I had been doing it for so long a period of time. My physical body just got into the action that I was supposed to be taking to fulfill that habit. And my brain was thinking about the same things that I had been thinking about all those, year ago, all those times over and over. And the really funny thing, not funny, really eye-opening thing was that things that were stressful that were occurring a year ago were now the habit of being in that stressful mindset just came back without me even thinking about it, and in fact without the stress being around. So this was a really interesting thing that I noted. My mind was in the habit of becoming stressful with different triggers. And even though I hadn't been dealing with those triggers for a year, just the starting the action of getting on the plane and flying and getting to the airport, all of the things where the trigger points for stress were starting the stress in my mind, even though they were in fact not there. Just the ritual brought a stressful thoughts, brought stress. And stress, as we know, as I've said before, and a lot of people have said, stress is not an actual thing. Stress is just your reaction to something that's going on. So stress is what you bring on yourself. You know, you react in a manner that makes something stressful. The thing itself is not stressful, whatever it is. You know, leaving on time, not leaving on time for work, whatever. Those things are stressful because it's your reaction to them. Some people don't care. Some people don't care if they're late for work. In fact, I know a girl that just got fired from her job. She was late for work all the time late, and she got fired. And then she tried to collect unemployment, and her boss responded to the unemployment people that she was late all the time. And she just got used to doing that. She didn't really worry about it. She didn't think it was stressful. Now she's stressing out over it because she sees that habit, that bad habit that she got into, that she really didn't react to, caused her a problem down the line. So my point is that sometimes habits can come back even if you haven't been doing them in a long time. And it's funny that a habit is something that will just return instantly. Well, what do they say? Oh, you never forget how to ride a bike, right? So riding a bike, if you haven't ridden a bike in 10 years, you can get on a bike and start riding again, and you'll remember that habitual motion of, you know, your legs and arms and all that stuff. Hi, Miriam. Hi, Linda. So these are things that the habit comes back because it's ingrained in your head. It's like a domino effect. Once you do one thing, then the next thing, then the next thing, then the next thing happens, and the habit comes back. So you have to pay attention to what your habits are. And I've done my little printing up of some quotes. This is Jack Canfield. Jack Canfield is the guy who wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul, and he's a motivational, inspirational speaker, very famous. A lot of people know the books. And he says, your habits will determine your future. So what the habits that you're taking on today, the things that you're starting to do habitually and routinely and over, so that it becomes an automatic reaction, will determine your future. So if you are a habitually late person, like my friend who lost her job, that kind of determined her future, that she would become unemployed and not be able to collect unemployment because she was fired for cause for being late all the time. If you are a person who is habitually early, then you're always going to be ahead, and you're going to be, in a calm mood, not stressed out. I think being late is one of the things that a lot of people stress out about them. I'm not the only one. I've noticed a lot of people that are stressed out in traffic because they're running late, because traffic is always going to be there. And so if that is the type of person that you're going to be, somebody that's going to be rushing and late and stressed out because of that, that's going to determine your future. So the thing is, you have to, if you see a habit that's good, obviously continue with that habit. I wouldn't be talking about habits that were good, other than to continue to do them. If you're waking up, I am trying to meditate every morning when I wake up. My meditation head guy, woo! So I can clear space in my head for all new kinds of stuff that I want to do. So that's a big habit that I've been trying to do. I haven't been walking as much as I am habitually used to in the morning. And here's the funny thing I can tell. Facebook is sending me pictures of what I did 1 year ago, and I could see that 1 year ago, like I was walking on the beach and taking pictures of the sunrise. And nowadays I haven't been doing that. One of the reasons is because we had a really cold spell in New York. It was freezing. And like 20 degrees. And I don't go out if it's below, like if it's 30, 35, 36, as long as there's no wind, I'll go out. But once it gets into the 20s, I'm not walking. So we had some 20-degree weather, and it got into my head that it was already cold, and so I stopped walking. So I'm going to try and get back into that, because a couple of days when I've left in the morning, when we've had our 50-degree days this last week, and stepping out to go to my car to go to work was the first time I was leaving, and I could feel that fresh, cool air off the beach, and I remembered, oh, I'm supposed to be going down to the beach and inhaling that fresh air, because it definitely invigorates my brain and everything, my being, to feel much better for the day. And it's a great way to start the day anytime. You don't have to live by the beach. Just walk your dog, walk, if you have a dog, you have no choice. You pretty much have to walk them, right, Mia? You can let them out in the backyard, but walking your dog is a habitual thing that, even though you're doing it for the dog, you're also doing it for yourself, because that's something that's going to get you moving, give you a little exercise. And I've been talking also about, people say, oh, I have too much stuff to do in the morning. I have to get the kids ready. I have to get this stuff. Do walking as a family thing. Walk for 15 minutes. Get them ready for school 15 minutes earlier, and put their shoes on and walk out. Have some lunch, have some breakfast, have breakfast, and then take a walk. Or walk, if you're going to walk to the bus, leave 5 minutes early and walk around the block before you get to the bus stop. And if you start that habit in children, then they are definitely going to be benefiting from that, because I know it wasn't something I started as a child, so I have to instill that in myself now. So here's another quote from Sean Covey. I'm not really sure who he is, but his quote was that, depending on what they are, our habits will either make us or break us, and we become what we repeatedly do. So there you are. You have to choose your habits wisely, because no matter what they are, they're going to make you or break you. If you're late, you're going to be late, and it's going to be a problem. And if you're early, you're going to have a better time of it. So it'll either make you or break you. I can tell you right now, I have been trying. There's something in here, hopefully. Yes, this is the one that I wanted to, I'm glad I printed, because I found it and I wanted to print it up. Who said this? Abigail Van Buren. Abigail Van Buren. I don't know. Was she a first lady of the United States? I think so. Martin Van Buren's wife. Okay. She said, "A bad habit never disappears miraculously. It is an undo-it-yourself project." Undo-it-yourself project. I thought that was so clever, because our bad habits that are causing us stress, like my bad habit of getting to work late, did not miraculously disappear. I had to undo it myself. And as I started adding 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes earlier, 5 minutes earlier, now I've come to realize that I have to leave the house like 8:15. I really have to leave the house at 8:15 to make it happen, to undo that bad habit. And if I go anywhere past that, then I slip right into whatever, and the next thing I know, it's 8:40 and I'm racing to court. But undo-it-yourself project. Be an undo-it-yourself project person. If you have a bad habit, you have to undo it yourself. Now, I get to work early. I get to work at like 9:05. And even that is just enough time. We can only enter the building at 9 o'clock, so I can't get there much earlier. But it's just enough time to get where I need to get, set up what I need to do in the course of what appearances I have to make first or second, sign in on all of my calendars, find out what's going on, see other people where we cover each other in different parts. And it's amazing how fast the time goes from 9:05 to 9:25. That 20 minutes just like disappears, and I never even had it before. And here's the funny thing. My habit of getting to work at 20 after 9 or 25 after 9, where I'm running around doing things for 5 minutes, I didn't even realize how much I needed that extra 20 minutes from 9:05 or 9:10 till 9:30 to get set up And now that I'm doing it more regularly, I really like it and I really appreciate it. And the undo it yourself project of becoming a person that's getting to work early is really working out. And because of the nice benefits that I'm getting from it, it's making me, want to do it even more. So whatever else I have to do in the morning, I'm forgetting about, like whatever it is. I don't even care if I don't take out the garbage. If the garbage sits another 3 days before it goes out, or clean the sink or anything like that, all of that stuff is going to the wayside. I am just focused on when it's 8 o'clock. I am gathering my stuff and I'm getting out of the house. So even if it means that I don't take a walk in the morning sometimes, now the more important thing, the more important habit that I'm getting into is to be early for work, and it's definitely benefiting me. So you have to make sure that you are paying attention to that. Now here is John Dryden. His quote is, "We first make our habits, and then our habits make us." So my habit of being early now is making me into a person that's less stressed out at work, and the day just goes smoother. The day just goes smoother if I'm early for work. That was part of building my foundation. My foundation in the morning to be early for work is made up of the habitual things that I do in the morning. And now my habit of seeing, I have my alarms. My alarms set off all the time. Every 10 minutes they're practically going off to keep me on track, because I don't realize how fast time is going in the morning. And when that 8 o'clock alarm goes off, then I know it's like, okay, whatever you're doing, stop what you're doing, pack your your briefcase, and make sure the windows are closed, make sure the cats are fed, and take that last cup of coffee for the road and get out. Because even just doing those things in the morning to leave takes 10 minutes. It takes 10 minutes to just get out of the house. It's kind of a funny thing that you don't realize. So those are the habits that we have in ourselves that we have to work on. And we have to choose those habits wisely. Now, the other thing I want to talk about is habits we have with other people. We're coming up on Thanksgiving this week. And, Thanksgiving and holidays and la la la, and everybody wants to be happy, and we all eat too much. I don't know anybody that doesn't have the habit of eating too much on Thanksgiving. I'm not saying you should do away with that, but you're going to be around a lot of people, family, friends, and sometimes the people that you're around will trigger that reaction. Remember, I talked before about the going to the airport, just being in that place and running through the routine that I had would trigger stress, even though there was no stress. It just triggered it from the habitual thoughts of stress that I had been dealing with when I was flying, every week. Same thing's going to happen maybe when you go to Thanksgiving. If you have a family member, or if somebody always brings their friend who always has to make comments about, why aren't you married? Why don't you have children? Or whatever their comments are. And you're automatically, as soon as you see that person, you're like, or even before you even leave the house, oh, Aunt Tilly is going to be at Thanksgiving this week, and she's always such a pain in the neck, and she's always such a nosy body, and you're already responding to that habit where you're reacting stressfully to Aunt Tilly's comments. So be aware of that this week. Don't let people that you're going to be seeing for your holiday, because it could be once a year. Like, I haven't been to Florida in a year, and I had triggers that brought on stress that I had to evaluate and say, is there really stress, or am I just reacting to habit of being stressed out at this point? So when you're going to your Thanksgiving dinner, if you have a habit of being stressed out, I know I won't say who it is, but there's a family member that always comes to Thanksgiving, and she gets stressed out about it because there's just a lot to do. The setting up, the cleaning up, the serving, the everything, making sure everybody's getting everything they need, and the kids and the grandparents and everybody. And she's will have a tendency to yell, and we're like, why is she yelling again? Why is she always yelling on Thanksgiving? And in fact, last year she skipped it. She skipped Thanksgiving. She stayed home. And of course we missed her and we didn't want her to do that, but she couldn't avoid that habitual trigger of stress that comes with the Thanksgiving holiday, that she would instead have to actually avoid Thanksgiving completely to not fall into that habit of getting upset and yelling and being stressed out. So when you're going to Thanksgiving, if you feel that trigger coming on, that habitual reaction to somebody that's going to annoy you at Thanksgiving, or some event that's going to happen every year, we have to go through the same thing. It's traditions. People have traditions. And you can always start your own new traditions. Things happen all the time. Families grow, families change. Not everybody has to show up for Thanksgiving. My mother used to throw a huge Thanksgiving, and if anybody said that they weren't coming, that would be a stressful thing to that. I'm sorry, Linda, you're saying Aunt Tilly. I know, right? Where did that come from? That must have been something that our parents knew about, Aunt Tilly, because it just popped in my head. It was like, what is Aunt Tilly doing this year? She's so annoying. But yes, avoid the Aunt Tillys when you feel Aunt Tilly coming at you, or you're anxious. Someday Aunt Tilly might not be around anymore and you won't have to worry about it. And you might still have the stress. She might skip Thanksgiving this year, go to her, her other grandkids or nieces and nephews in Florida that invited her, and she went there instead. And so you're getting ready for Thanksgiving and you're having the habitual reaction of stress when it's not even really there. So be careful this week about the people that you're going to run into and the situations that are going to be presented. We would talk, my brother was talking about it. I was talking about people being, celebrating Christmas too early. I've been sending around Christmas things, and, I've been listening to Christmas music already. I love it. I have lots of Christmas stuff around my house all year round. I have a Santa Claus by my fireplace that's there all the time. I have an acrylic Christmas tree on my workbench that's there all year round. I also have stuff like pumpkins for fall, and I have Mardi Gras beads all the time, even though Mardi Gras is only once a year. I celebrate all that stuff all year round. Now people that are like, it's too early for Christmas. Don't play Christmas music. Don't send Christmas stuff. It's too early. It's too early. Those people are reacting to stress. They are habitually stressed out at the holidays. Because why, if you were so happy at the holidays like you're supposed to be, and not worry about what you have to buy for people and where you have to go and traveling and making food and all of that, that's what stresses people out. Do less of that. Do less of buying. First of all, you can shop online now. I don't even go to the store. Anytime I ever go to a store now, I'm sorry, because just the driving there and the parking is stressful. So now I shop online. So shop online. I hate to say, people are giving gift certificates, Amazon gift cards, or food gift cards. Outback Steakhouse, one of my favorite places to eat. Give somebody an Outback Steakhouse gift. This way they can go on their own. Well, people say, oh, you didn't make the effort. You know what? Forget the effort. The effort is not about going to Macy's and standing online and dealing with the mall and, how that is stressful. And that's why people don't want to celebrate Christmas early, because all they're thinking about is all of that stress, having to go shopping, having to make sure you get this for everyone, spending all the money. Do something different. Write personal letters to people, instead of spending money if you don't have a lot of money to spend. I mean, there are so many ways to avoid the stressful triggers of the holidays, and then you can enjoy them more. Then you can start in the Thanksgiving week. I'm ready to get my Christmas stuff out now. I'm putting away my Halloween stuff and moving out my Christmas stuff. I want to make some Christmas wreaths. I do it for, I like to watch football on Sundays and make Christmas wreaths. So, that's what I have habitually doing. Now, I have a small family, so I don't have to shop. I don't care about shopping. I just, give gift cards or cash. And I'm happy with that. Or we'll go out to dinner together some other time. I'll take my aunt out to dinner. Not Aunt Tilly, a different aunt. Uh, although she's just sometimes like Aunt Tilly. And, we'll spend time together. Sometimes spending time with somebody is more important than giving them a cashmere sweater. Linda, I'm sure you'd rather spend an afternoon with me than get a cashmere sweater. But of course, if it's a cashmere sweater with a mermaid on it, then you're going to want that anyway. And if I found that, I would not be stressed out at all going to get that for you. So keep that in mind this week. Don't let old habits ruin your holidays. Don't get stressed out. Don't fall into the triggers that you're habitually used to because of holiday stress. Stress is just the reaction that you're having. Change the trigger. Undo it yourself project. Undo your triggers yourself. You're the only one that can do it. And I have a Christmas party every year. And I used to cook for the Christmas party. That's all I ever did was cook for the Christmas party. But now I order in food. Now I cater the Christmas party. And it's kind of funny because there's lots of different food. My friend Glenn joked around one year when I had all the variety of food. He said, well, I don't even know what to do because all I know is I used to have one tray of lasagna that had meat, one tray of lasagna that had no meat. And there was a sign that would say meat or no meat. And he said, I don't even know what to do. All I know is meat or no meat. So that was his habitual practice at my Christmas party was meat or no meat. And then he saw all this food and, whatever we had, pastas and chickens and all kinds of stuff. And it was fun. And also it became much more fun for me because I didn't have to do all that cooking. And not that I don't love cooking, but I'm over it. And to order the food and have them deliver it at like 7 o'clock, it leaves so much time for me. And I just have to make sure it's, stays warm and serve it at the right time or whatever. Put it all out at the same time. I don't even care because the Christmas party is so much fun. It just operates on its own. But that was something I undid myself. It was an undo-it-yourself project to stop stressing out by having to cook everything for the party and instead ordering in. And then I also could enjoy the party more because everybody's like, hey, Diana, how come you're not in the kitchen? How come, we're so used to you. They were habitually used to me spending time in the kitchen the whole night, getting the food out and stuff like that. And, now I have some kitchen elves that help me. And they're even, shifting over to the new theory of pre-made food and ordered in food and, hero sandwiches and all of that. And it really makes it much more fun. So spot the habits that are making your life difficult and get into the undo it yourself project. Break those bad habits and start new habits. You can do it. You can fill in new habits. I'm doing it now. The get to work early. I don't know I'm going to say how old I am, but whatever. I've been in my own business for 25 years and getting to work just in the nick of time was my habit. And now that's not it anymore. Now my habit is getting to work early, and I actually look forward to it. I look forward to work because I know I'm going to get there early, and once I have my early morning, things can still, get backed up. It's like anything. So you plan ahead and you do everything, and then all of a sudden there's a roadblock or something happens. But at least it's not because of what I did. It was not because I was there late. It was something that happened that was beyond my control. Doing my best. And still things happen. And then just don't react. Don't react stressful. Don't get stressed out. Just do the next step. Okay, that's all I'm going to say tonight about your habits and choosing them wisely. And remember this week, have a happy Thanksgiving. Because you know what? Gratitude, being thankful. Thanksgiving should not be one day of the week. Thanksgiving should be a lifestyle. That's probably what I'm going to talk about next week. Thanksgiving should be a lifestyle, not just a holiday, because when you're grateful and you have gratitude for the things that are in your life, then more good things come to you. And that's how you get on a higher level of vibrational energy. So next week I'll talk about thankfulness and gratitude. But until then, thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you next week. yeah, it will be Thanksgiving weekend. So it will be the Thanksgiving weekend show. And we'll talk about being thankful. And till then, I love you all, and love is all you need. Bye. Have a great week. Short week for everybody, mostly because we're going to be celebrating the holiday. So have a great week and enjoy your Thanksgiving. Bye.